My name is Cassie Lamb. I'm the Programs and Events Coordinator for Eat Denver. It's a very beautiful full circle moment for me because last year's Ed Talks was my first week on the job. So I've learned a lot since then, and I'm very grateful to be a part of this community. Today, I have the honor of introducing Liz Seelye, Founder and Brand Wayfinder at StarryEyed Strategy. Leading an independent, female-owned brand consultancy, Liz has helped build brands on a global and local scale, from Stanley and Chick-fil-A to Legacy Pie Co., The Post Chicken and Beer, and many more. No matter the scale, her goal is to make sure businesses of all sizes are able to define and execute their brand vision. What can independently owned food and beverage brands learn from the world's biggest and most beloved brands? How can independents do things that those bigger brands can't? Please join me in welcoming Liz Seelye for her speech, Sweet Inspiration, How Independents Can Outshine Even the Biggest Brands.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much, Cassie. You ladies have done an amazing job, as always. Well, StarryEyed is a global consultancy, as Cassie said, and we're thankful to have helped some of the world's beloved brands. I'm excited to be here with you today to share a little sweet inspiration for how you can outshine them all. But first, by show of hands, who has seen the new Wonka movie? A few. All right. I thought this was just another remake, but turns out it's the prequel we never knew we needed. It's the story of an up-and-coming entrepreneur and how he got his start. It's how Willy becomes Wonka and all that he faces to get his business up and running. Now, he's always dreamed, since he was small, of opening his own chocolate shop, his very own restaurant and retail spot. Inspired by his mom, who taught him how to make the most amazing treats before she died, he's just sailed the 7 seas for 7 years, finding the best ingredients to make his recipes. And as he sings in his song, all he's got is his chocolate and a hat full of dreams. So this has got to work, guys. He's finally ready to share with the world. He shows up at the famous Gallery Gourmet only to find the Slugworth, obviously, and the big brand incumbents there to stop him before he can even start. As he's ready to make his dream a reality, he's shut down. It's pretty sad. And to make matters worse, he discovers it's not just Slugworth he's up against, it's all the big brands have teamed up to form the chocolate cartel. Bust. And he suddenly wonders, do I have what it takes? He doesn't have their budgets, their backing, their pricing structure, their supply chain. He doesn't have their fancy ad agencies and media buys. What is he to do? It's a chocolate-covered David and Goliath story, my friends. And if this story looks familiar, it's because it is. Oh, I can't walk away, sorry. This is what you guys are up against as independents every day, because the top 10 companies control more than 50 of the biggest names in the restaurant biz, and our team has collaborated with most of them. So today we're going to talk about what the biggest brands do well that we can emulate. We're also going to talk about what they don't do that we can learn from and leverage. But before we do, all this chocolate talk got me thinking you might need a little sweet inspiration you can eat. Now would be the perfect time to unpackage that star chocolate treat you might have found on your seat. All right, back to business after that. 4 ways for us to outshine the biggest brands. Stay connected, stay focused, stay nimble, stay starry-eyed. And when I say stay connected, I mean to your guest, to your most valuable, viable target audience. Now, national chains know that in a sea of star sprinkles that represent the U.S. population, they're to scoop up about 15 to 20% and really get to know them. And they're good at segments. They're good at studying the facts and figures about their guests. They spend big bucks, right, on segmentation studies and hours in focus groups and taste panels. But what they don't do as well is move past things like age and income, the demographics. They don't often break out of the restaurant support center to get into their stores to really see what their guests are all about. Now, one of the recent surveys from HubSpot proved that in a survey of 1,200 marketers and CEOs are the voice of the guest, right, guiding us, only 42% know demographics. And they don't move past that. They don't move past age, income, location to psychographics and what binds them, their attitudes and values. And if you look towards the end, only 24% less than a quarter know the causes that they care about, which is a big missed opportunity if you're to align with what they really really love. Now, one of the few big brands I know who does this well, Chick-fil-A, or as my kids call it, Chick-fil-A. This is me and my new best friends last summer doing real-world research in the first Chick-fil-A store because that big brand really wants to understand what their consumer is all about, what they care about most. They do a really good job of this and understanding, as you're thinking about that single source of data, putting all your POS together, all the things that you could know, really think about knowing your guest on that deeper level. And you can do that through, ethnographies, surveys, intercept interviews, understand what they're all about. Another way is to really stay focused. It's hard as independents not to want to do everything for everybody, but the key for us, especially seeing how big brands and small can operate, is understanding the higher order benefit that you offer your guests. What's that North Star that's going to guide you and really define you and help you identify your signature products, the way that you treat your people, the ways that you create your place, all of these elements, especially because today's consumer want to know not just what you sell, but what you stand for. Now, we use a tool called archetypes to map out the competition. It helps us to figure out where your direct and aspirational competitors are in consumers' lives. What space do you occupy in their hearts and minds? And when we think about this, we map out and we understand where a brand can own, especially because 82% of people say they make purchase decisions based on brand purpose, which is wild, isn't it? They want to know what it is that you stand for, what your values are. More than half will spend more money for purpose-driven companies, and for you guys, 90% of purpose-driven see more employee motivation and loyalty. And 60% would earn less, which is wild. Now, big brands don't often lead with their why. They don't often lead with their purpose, but one does. Who's this? What does Chipotle sell? Burritos, sure, but why? What do they stand for? They talk about food with integrity and authenticity, and it permeates everything they do. The way they treat their people and the benefits they offer, how they build their place with all their renewable energy. These restaurants are amazing with solar and electric, and how they would execute against their promotions with all the integrity towards the forefront. They're supporting young farmers, and it goes into all that they do. Another awesome example, Legacy Pie Company. Sorry about my colors here. Legacy Pie Co. Who's been a Legacy Pie Co? Ooh, phew. It's amazing. So this too, Elias was supposed to be here today, but he's prepping to open store number 2 in Wash Park later this month, March 22. This 100-year-old pie shop, passed down to the 4th generation, really leads with purpose. They're sharing the power of pie, and it permeates in all they do. So how they treat their people, empowering the bakers to dream up the next new recipe. They empower us as people and customers. We vote for the next new flavors, and they're empowering even the community to get involved. You can actually buy your piece of the pie and invest in the pie shops as they're being built. And eventually they'll be doing an owner-operator model where we can all own our own legacy, where we can spread that and pass it along, which is really amazing. Number 3, stay nimble. So this, over here, that extra large barge is kind of how I felt working at the world's biggest restaurant company. If I wanted to make a change, if I wanted to update the menu or a build, I had to go through insights and marketing, food safety, QA, ops and training. You, on the other hand, can be the speedy speedboat, making changes in response to consumer demands, culinary trends, maybe cultural movements. One example here, has anybody heard of Donuts Delight? This is so funny. This is a Rochester-based, family-owned donut shop who jokingly put on their menu Taylor Swift-inspired donuts because they heard she was coming to town for a playoffs game at a nearby stadium. The owner had to bring in 30 extra workers, stay open 24/7 for multiple days. They sold these Swift cinnamon rolls for $45 each, and each individual donut for $4. What's a Dunkin' Donut cost? Like $1.70? People were willing to pay for it because they made this quick change. They sold more than 2,000 Swift-themed pastries and were written up in USA Today, which is where the rest of us found out about them. Super nimble, and were able to make that change. Look at that. Is that $45 to you? Talk to me afterwards and let me know. Another one, Pancho and Lefties. This is an awesome, top-notch cantina out of Nashville. We helped them create the first new Mexican fusion in 150 years with Nash Mex. You take sweet Southern soul food, mix it with modern Mexican. And in Music City, they're selling things like hot chicken tacos, po' boy tacos, moonshine margaritas. And they've doubled down on the mark to the point where they're so nimble that every month, every Cinco de month, not just Cinco de Mayo, they introduce the next new flavor aligned with mixology trends, including this one, which is the Magic Marg in time for St. Patty's Day, 24 karat gold flecks in the sea salt with the melon pineapple marg. It's amazing. Highly recommend in Music City. And lastly, stay starry-eyed. And what we mean by that is stay creative, stay collaborative, stay imaginative, and imagine these possibilities, especially as independents. You guys are the most creative people I know, the most creative in the industry, to the point where we wait to see, big brands, what you do, and then we go and implement that. It trickles down to the rest. To be starry-eyed typically means to be visionary, positive, hopeful. At StarryEyed Strategy, we try to bottle that up. We try to dream up ideas and make them a reality. Because as Seth Godin, I think, said, it's not what you sell, it's the stories that you tell. That's what the guest is really, really excited about. And that's what they want to know when it comes to your purpose and what you stand for. So as we outline this, a lot of times we'll partner with brands to say, what are the promotions, but not just deals and discounts. It's what are the stories, what are the creative collaborations you can come up with. This is another example from Chipotle when they teamed up with e.l.f. makeup. A seemingly unlikely collab, but it highlighted their purpose. It was all cruelty-free, paraben-free, vegan. It sold out in 3 days, had 4 billion media impressions. Another one, Jenny's Splendid Ice Cream. I'd fly somewhere to get this. Biscuits with the Boss from Ted Lasso. Amazing. And how much is a pint of ice cream? Like $6, $7. This went for $12. So creativity can be more lucrative. You can set your own price point. Creativity can be newsworthy. It can spread the word. And even our pals at Bonfire Burrito, Amazing Breakfast, are doing this. With one restaurant, they teamed up with Coda Brewing to co-create a beer, and they have a whole slew of activation ideas. So it can be super memorable. Now, I wish I had more time to spend with you, but I'll leave you with this, just a taste of stay connected, focused, nimble, and starry-eyed. I'd love to talk with you guys later to dream up some more ideas for your brand, but in the meantime, don't give up on your dream. Be like Willy Wonka and continue on, especially because, as his mom always said, every good thing in this world starts with a dream. So you hold on to yours. Thank you so much.